nervous to make this. I'm scared and Allah will get mad at me and not like me for what I might say. But it's what I believe, and I hope people respect what I believe. So I respect what everyone else believes, say, and do, because they're their own individual and they should do whatever. That's what I believe in, and that's important for later. So on talks about diseases, but my name's Christopher. I live in Texas, America. I go by male. My sexuality is preferred women. That's who I am. I am white, brown hair, brown eyes. I'm 15. I go to high school. I'll be a sophomore in this upcoming school year, and I will be 16 in September. Today is the 5th of July, right after 101, so right after July 4th. And on July 4th, a lot has came across my mind about independence and freedom of America, and so on, the world. And the first thing came across me was, it's kind of ironic that we got independence for ourselves, but we got rid of Native American independence, which should be, we shouldn't really deal with the fact that we've taken away land and the lives of Indians. Okay, not us, but our forefathers, and we've governed their lives forever. We've still now haven't really. We've just continued. I'm not saying that it's our faults, though it kind of is, that we haven't wanted to change it. It's just that we've found independence for ourselves. Sadly, white folk. I'm just sad. I'm white, but I'll admit it. White people aren't the best people. They've taken independence away from Native Americans and dealt with it forever. You might say, I don't know how you would argue against that. You really can. You could say, well, at that time, it was okay. No, they know what they're doing. Propaganda was built against them, of course, and then they were almost extinct. Yeah, just think about it. Some were, some tribes were, and will one day be, because of us. Okay, so we almost annihilated a whole race, or ethnicity, nationality as well, if you want to prefer, people. Could be worse, and it is. America also has adapted enslavement. I argued with somebody earlier, but I didn't argue back. They just said, well, pretty much we enslaved a whole race of people. You could argue at the time, we didn't enslave them, we just bought them. That's like saying, it's like selling a guy a gun who would later on murder somebody, and you knew they would murder somebody. It's just as bad as pulling the trigger. Like, maybe not in all retrospect, but if you could prevented it, it would have stopped it. But no, truth be told, we gone along with it and used them. Africans at the time they were Africans. Some were Hispanic. Some were, I don't know if, some were Spaniards. Some were other Europeans. Probably other people of Africa, but preferably black. Of course, dominant at the time was white. There was some white slaves, but not enough. Not, like, probably none. You could not compare it, and I'm not saying we should compare it. I'm saying that now, yeah, we are talking about, we didn't give them independence until after a war, and someone was killed for it. Many were killed for it. And that war was actually very, very debatable in the fact that it was kind of, well, if you put it in a way, stupid. Yeah, sorry, it was very ignorant. Stupid is actually a term for they didn't know and they're incapable of learning. They are very arrogant to the idea of just turning the slaves into workers and just not enforcing things on them, letting them learn instead of being diverse. Apparently white folks thought they were better than everybody else. And I just can't believe that. Because we really aren't. We're pretty bad people. Especially males. So, that's my thought on Independence Day. And I then furthermore thought and kept thinking, it's pretty messed up. We've gone to war a lot for different independences, but nowadays independence isn't really here. We all have our free will and free speech, free thoughts, free. I don't think anything's free. Freedom's not even free. Emotion, it's not even free nowadays. But we can't say anything without getting repercussions and injuries back. No one can respect others. No one can love each other. Which is sad, because I think this nation wasn't actually built on independence, being yourself, and free will. I think it was built on unity and bringing people together to fight for a better cause. Because you think independence is all by yourself. The individual is being just them. But independence was built on people depending on others. The Pilgrims wanted to come to America. Or America, that's what they called it. Or India, actually. At one point I think they actually thought it was India. Then they learned, either way, America, to be themselves, to believe in their own religion, which is respect on whatever religion you do or do not believe in nowadays, which is good. You should totally respect that and respect others and their wishes. But they all had to unify themselves together and to get unity to fight the war and to get unity to free the slaves. And unity was brought together amongst the Indians to fight back in retaliation, but it just proves unity doesn't always win. Because sometimes, unity can bring together people for the wrong idea, which is true. Anything can be turned into the wrong idea. You could love in a wrong way. You can hug in a wrong way. Hug someone so hard you kill them. It's possible. But this world, lacks unity. I think about it. If our world just put aside, everybody just puts aside their differences for 2 to like 10 years, 2 to 10 years, and I can count with my fingers, all 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. 10 fingers, I mean, respect whatever you want to say. If you believe that thumbs aren't fingers, I just call it 10 fingers because it's easier for me. But 2 to 10, I think we can solve everything. Poverty, rape, depression, suicidal thoughts, money. We can solve a lot of things. But people are more worried about what another country might do, or they're more worried about what their neighbors might think, or what they might say, all that, the whole 9 mile. Because the world's built on hate, jealousy, every wrong emotion. we were taught by our parents and grandparents that other races are bad, or they stink and they're poor and they shouldn't give them money. We shouldn't pay them because all they would do is waste it on a new BMW or something like that. And to tell you the truth, they're not poor. If they can afford a BMW, we don't call them poor. But society has made a new, I believe in, well, society has of course evolved and adapted to different things. Subjects slightly changed, but we'll get back to unity in a minute. There's high class, middle class, low class, known as the poor. You could say under the low poor class is the homeless. They're the one that is actually poor, which I might be wrong. Let's Google it here. Is the lower class the poor class? I might be wrong. If so, we'll figure. Oh God. American lower class, lower social economy, as working poor households may fall below the poverty line. Alien low class is said to be the poor class, which is kind of sad because I know a few people in the lower class that they don't seem too poor. They seem well off. They're happy, which that's all that matters to me. Taking glasses off because I looked at sexy without them. But if you're happy where you are, good. Stay happy. But you sometimes need to sacrifice your own happiness to make others happy, because it's more important to worry about each other's than yourself. And the world lacks that compassion. You might say, no, yesterday I gave a homeless man a penny. I know, yesterday I gave a homeless man $100. Or, no, I took a homeless man to my house, shaved his head. Whoa. He took a shower, I fed him, and helped him get off his feet for a year. I'm like, good. That's good. You should do that. But your voice isn't heard. I feel terrible to say it, but your inspiring voice and stories are not heard because they are alone and quiet compared to the very loud voices about evil propaganda. Propaganda, sorry. I say propaganda. Which might just be me saying, trying to hit the social media nowadays, or the media in general. But I mean, I'm not a big fan of Trump. I wasn't a big fan of Hillary. I wasn't a big fan of anybody. I didn't like anybody. I liked what I believed in. What I believed in was love, peace, and tranquility. But now we have an interesting president. He is doing things that are good in some situations, that's bad in some other situations. That's every president. It's just the job. Wait. Feel better. Okay, sorry. But I need to do this so I get my thinking pose. It comes in every job, right? You'll do something that is good and bad. There's no, unless you save someone's life, then, well, it's opinionated if that's good or bad. It's opinions, but what if Hillary done a better job than Trump? That's opinion. So, in the end, we have a president who's doing good and bad things that's been opinionated by media that he's a terrible person, is doing terrible things, or he is a savior to America. There's no neutralness. No, let's be neutral, nice to each other, and talk about this and subtle things in a social and professional manner. No, that's bullshit. No one can do that. Pardon me, I'm so sorry, but it really is. I'm a 50-year-old who shouldn't say that, but I think I'm really allowed to say it. I'm not gonna do it again, I'm sorry. But calling Trump a rapist, a pedophile, a baby hand man, fake hair, fake tan, and just keep calling them terrible things, which, if they're true, they're true. I can't tell you what is right or what's wrong. It's your opinion. You should have your own opinion, but at the same time, you shouldn't have an opinion that's built on false evidence or hate. I'm not saying that's how you should. I'm not telling you how to live, but everyone can agree that the fact is that you'll live life better if you just don't hate something or put hurt and pain into something instead, or put hurt into pain into something that causes more hurt and pain. Because let's say Trump gets impeached, everyone's just going to hate on the vice president and the guy after him, and to tell you what, 4 years will be over pretty quick after everyone gets impeached, which is, I don't know how possible, but it might be possible soon. But media, not all media, some social networks on television and on the interwebs, I'm looking at my screen right now, some are good, some posts are good, but like I said, the good is not as equal as one bad thing. If you gave a homeless guy 1 penny, he'd be grateful. He would be grateful, but others will not look at you too greatly. They're like, anyone could have done that. If you stole a penny from a homeless man, he'd be mad, but he wouldn't expect that. And probably wouldn't care terribly. He'd be heartbroken. Sad. But everyone around you would look at you like, are you an idiot? Why would you do that? You have it well off. Gosh. And they would forget that you gave them a penny the other day. Because it's irrelevant. It's not as good as it's not irrelevant enough. Because then they'll just bring it up. Oh yeah, this is the guy who stole the penny from the homeless person. I don't know if you want to talk to them or ask them for about stuff, or don't let them lend money to you, or don't lend money to them, because you'll never get back, because propaganda is built on one situation. Which of course, propaganda, let's look at actually social media. Didn't use the interwebs. Propaganda definition, just so I can tell you straight. Information, especially of a based or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. They put political in there just because that's pretty much everything nowadays is very political. But viewpoint, point of view, POV. My point of view is you stole someone's point of view, not mine, because this would not be me. I would not do this. My question to you is, why? Why would you steal that penny? There's a reason. And we'll use that why later as well. It will also relate back to unity. But I would ask why. Someone else might say, they might build a propaganda-like situation on you and say, he stole a penny from the homeless, don't lend money to him, because he'll never give it back. Which doesn't make correlating sense, because stealing money and then being lent money and not giving it back is like stealing, but it depends on the situation, in your opinion. So some correlations are debatable to see if they're right or wrong, if they make sense or don't make sense, but stealing's bad, and lending money and not giving it back is just as bad as stealing. Pay your debt. Especially you, America. Okay. So, propaganda's bad. Propaganda about political leaders. We should have tried to eliminate it because it's built by ourselves, by the citizens. We build it by feeding into the producers of media that we like seeing it, and get them views and money. Because money is what this world revolves around. I don't need to tell you that because everyone knows. So we build propaganda, especially about war. How Muslims are bad people. For some reason we make the idea that Muslims is a race, and I'll look it up right now. Are Muslims a race? No. We talk about it like they're a race, but they're a nationality with their own personal religious beliefs. I mean, people think all Muslims are bad people. Oh God, at one point everyone thought Muslims, I need to go back up. Okay, everyone thought Muslims were terrorists, bad people, and murderers, rapists, pedophiles, all the bad stuff. But look at a woman, Muslim woman, who came here for a better life, and then has to deal with that every day. It's terrible. It's propaganda. Because people emphasize and take it for what it is not actually said. Which is stupid. So we build propaganda about people. It's propaganda. Sometimes this thanks to a war, which I'm trying to relate this to the war right now that we're doing. It's terrible. It's kinda, I don't want to be disrespectful. I respect every military person out there, everyone who's been in every branch of the military. Coast Guard to the Air Force, to the Air Forces. Water, land, air, in between everything. The sergeants, the governors, the leaders, down to just the privates and soldiers, the trainees, the rookies. I respect all of them because they can do something I can't do right now. And they're protecting me. But to tell you the truth, this war has killed way too many people on both sides. And you might not think about it because no one ever does, but a war has the side you're on and the other side, or sides, and all these sides are dying. Losing mothers and fathers. The soldiers as mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, grandmas and grandpas, and more cousins, nieces and nephews, but they're losing those as soldiers, and as casualties, citizens are murdered who are losing just as much as their own family in war and not in war. Because we're given the idea that our side is the right side, not the wrong side. But in war, every side is wrong. Just one is worse than the other. And you might be thinking, that doesn't make sense. In World War II, we had the Allies and the Axis. The Axis were killing Jews. Not all of them, actually. Yeah, I can look it up. The Axis. How many countries? I mean, maybe all of them were, but let's figure it out. How many? You know what? Either way. Let's look this up. Let's leave this for a white page. But in the end, yeah, one side was killing Jews and claiming land that isn't fully theirs, or isn't theirs. The others were trying to stand against that. Of course, with unity. Both sides used unification to rise up and go against others, which was what made Hitler a brilliant mastermind or leader? I didn't say he was a good one. Well, good. He was good at it. But he was not morally right doing it. He used unity and empowering speeches to gather up men in the government to fight what he said, to do what he said. He used propaganda and false point of views to empower what he says and to demolish and kill many. But many Germans died, many Jews died, many Americans, French, Austrians, Polish, Switzerland I don't know about, Africans, Indians, Chinese, Japan. Many people died fighting for a thought, fighting for a belief they thought was right, which we should respect. But yeah, we should stop somebody who's doing wrong, but I get it. Sometimes the last resort is war. But maybe if we had precautions and did things before the war happened, prevented it always, we would have had to have that problem. But you know what? Waste money or get money. And sometimes the best way of getting money is starting a war instead of wasting money and preventing it. This war that we're fighting, just told somebody. They disagreed with what I thought earlier, which is fair. I respect that. But I told them 9/11 was one of the very first terrorist attacks. To tell you the truth, America has little to none of terrorist attack. You can look it up, and I can do it right now, but I don't need to. But think of how many times we went into their country and killed their families. You can't say they're men or women, it's their families. Because we thought what we were doing was right. And they did it because of what they thought was right. Instead of trying to teach them truth. That looks better. Instead of trying to teach them truth and what is right, we want to enforce it. And you might say, well, we tried. Well, there's a difference between I tried, I really tried, or air quotes, I tried. I've just got a text, I need to look at it. Oh, it's on my phone that I'm recording with. Oh well. But this war has been killed too many people on the same side, on both sides, every side. It's opinion if it's pointless or not pointless. Every war is pointless until it ends, because in the end, everyone acknowledges what was their true reason and point to end the war. And the one that has the most votes of why wins. There's multiple reasons why we needed it in World War II. A lot of people say because we need to, because killing the Jews is wrong, we need to stop that. Others would have said differently. But the one who won most votes, I think, was killing Jews is wrong. But what's the point in this one? That attacking other countries is wrong? Yeah, okay, sure. It is wrong, but the problem is we're punishing too many people for that. We're hurting too many individuals and not saving the ones who are getting hurt. When England was attacked and Paris was attacked, we did nothing. And you might disagree, which is fair, but think about it. Our country might have said, I'm sorry. But it was more like, hey, that sucks. I'm sorry, but have fun dealing with that. And it's just like, no. It's not the America I knew. America, like in World War I and II, sent men and women to the Allies to help them fight for a better cause, but now it's like, oh, some of your people died. The most compassion I can give you is a sorry speech, and how I hope you do better. Yeah, I might have said I'll do anything for you and might pay you and support you, but that won't happen until a real war happens. I'm just saying. But no. Did anyone come aiding us in 9/11? Might have. I don't remember. I wasn't born then. And schools don't teach that part. Yeah. Not me, at least. If we just were unified, if we were betterly unified, we would have gone and supported other people. We'd have sent people to England rather instead of sending people to their death, dying in the hearth and stronghold of death, the stronghold of death. We could have enforced other countries, made them feel safe, instead of their children crying at night thinking they might die the next day. But no. Everyone's on their own. It's a dog-eat-dog world. I hate that saying because it's cannibalism isn't needed yet. Overpopulation hasn't came upon us. So, we don't need it yet. It's still pretty nasty, don't agree with, but, just no one really cares. We're not unified. Maybe as a nation we're unified, but Independence Day is celebrated as a day off from work to drink alcohol, get wasted, wake up the next day, throw up, have a Bloody Mary, or whatever you have to get sober again, or take 80 Tylenol, and go back to work. And when we do acknowledge it, it's like, hey, we're free. We're ourselves. They don't acknowledge that it was achieved by unity. We're not unified. Every bad thing stands out more than the good thing. And all we can do is ask why. And every answer gets opinionated, not factual truth, and will cause hate. Because I tell you what, if you got everybody on Earth and put them in one room, one ginormous room, everyone's going to start going into their own groups. Everyone's equally spread apart from each other, right? To where no one knows each other. And so many people, like, it's impossible to find somebody you know. Which, let's find the total of people. Not poems. I can't spell. On Earth. 7.5 billion. I don't know how true that is. But let's just go 7.5 billion. I'm pretty sure it'd be almost impossible for you to find somebody you could not know until running and starving to death. But let's say it's also very well spaced. Everyone has arm length and stuff. It's pretty much Earth, completely flat, resources around and stuff. A giant island. I forgot what scientific theory or scientific. Well, not theory. Sorry, not theory, because it possibly is true. Or religiously, it was also said this to be there was a giant island right? Every continent was together on one island. The mega island. The island of all islands. The mother island. Vast and humongous. Something like that. Lush, latterly. Lush. Full of food. Plentiful food. There's enough to feed everybody forever. It's perfect. It's heaven. Everyone would do the same thing. It would do one thing. Go into groups that seem fitting for them. They unify themselves. Which is good. You should find people that relate to you, but you should also be open-minded and hear others' opinions and not disagree, but ask why. Because why is very important. Three letters. That's all it takes. But the first thing to do is they'll find people that seem like them, and they'll make a group. They'll unify in their own situation. Might be wrong or bad, might be wrong or good. And then jealousy might stir hate, fear in others of other groups, unified groups. Propaganda might be built, war will be started because we can't help hate somebody else who's different and might be well better off. A homeless guy, I'll bring it back to him, will ask why he stole his penny, but in the end he knows. I mean, there's always tomorrow, and I'd like to be in a better place. I would love to, but I'm dealing with where I am. And you look at somebody, people like us, I hate that we don't have $1 million, but once you get it, what would you do with it? A homeless man might be given $1 million and help with hundreds of other homeless men. Give us $1 million. Hard to say what they would do with it. What good or evil they would do with it. It's just sad. This is going to be, 37 minutes and 40 seconds. I feel bad how long this is, but I was told my venting or rant was kind of spielable, was good, might need to be heard, but it's not that I'm seeing everything wrong in this earth. There's plenty of good things. There's people. My father was a man who loved helping others. He worked in the mowing business. He didn't mow, he fixed mowers. So think how important he was when he had a broken mower. He was pretty important. Not many people could fix mowers. Not many people go to school to fix motors either. It's hard to say. Maybe there'd be a lot of me. I might be wrong about the future, but he's important. And everybody's job is important, but he loved helping others and fixing problems. He pushed me to fix problems, whether that be engineering-like, personal economy. But you might be like, you own a whole economy? Whoa, wee, kid. I'm like, yeah, I know. Fan myself. Or fix emotions, or thoughts, or ideas, or broken hearts. I fix. We forgot to talk about me. Sorry. I don't tend to do this, but we'll just explain a little bit more about me from more than the beginning, but I will admit, I like fixing people too. I like seeing people happy, but I like fixing people emotionally. Because I want them to do better. I don't want them to do better. I want them to feel better. Because people can't be better. You can't change somebody. You can just change how they feel. Which might be wrong. You might be able to change who they are. So, do it for the better, not the worse. Right now, I guess I'm trying to do that. I'm really just stating a point that this world sucks. And a lot of people don't care about other people. And the ones that do aren't heard. And not enough of them. So maybe I'm just trying to clickbait or get views or whatever, but I'm gonna post this on a channel that's not fully owned by me. So that's gonna make you feel bad. If this is gonna make you, I'm just gonna prove the point. This isn't about likes and comments, subscriptions. This is about sharing. Sharing that we should just stop hitting on each other and just love each other. We should just respect each other's opinions and whenever we need to enforce an opinion, we should all take in consideration of what it might do to others. I mean, tell you the truth, this is bothering me. I got a pack of, it's bothering me. I'm sorry. What the hell? Slightly spastic at the moment. It's also 1:41 in the morning. Not too bad for a teen like me in the summer, but we shouldn't be reminded. Shouldn't be reminded that rape's bad. Sorry, heard something. It's just probably me scratching my beard. Okay, sorry. We shouldn't be reminded rape's bad. Murder's bad. Bad things of being bad. But we should just know, because you might think, sometimes you do. Sometimes justice needs to be served. You're right. Justice should be served. Does that mean the death penalty? His opinion, but hard to say. Because when you do a bad thing, you know it's bad. You feel it's bad, so there's a choice. This is a fact. I'm not going to opinion this. It shouldn't be opinionated, but there's a choice. The choice is changed on your circumstances, true. Changed on situations, true. It's different for everybody. Your choice, there will be a choice. Sometimes you might not have the chance to choose. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you might not acknowledge there's a choice because of your situation. But in the end, there's always a choice. There's also two sides to everything. Like the kid. Like the kid who stole money from you. It's a weird story. I don't know the actual story of it. You probably have heard of it. But there's a kid you see playing in the street. Seems a little skimpy, a little skinny, a little poor-like. So, like, you look at him, he runs by, he smiles, he runs past. You smile, shake your head, you're like, alright. Walking up the street to your favorite store. Because it's your favorite store, because it has your most desired and favorite item in the world, and you have just enough money. Just enough money to buy that item, whatever it is. You reach in your back pocket because typically for some reason all wallets are, well, if you're a male, you'll reach into your pockets. If you're female, it might be in your pockets, your purse, wherever you reach for it. In a boob pocket, in the Botox pocket, in Botox pocket, wherever the pocket is. Whether it be here, be here, on your butt, by your butt, wherever. Whatever body part you have it by. You'll reach there, grab the money, and realize, oh wait, it's not there because the kid right past you stole it. The choice, there's also a choice there. You can call the cops, or look for him. Let's say you look for him, you find him, grab him by his shirt, thrash him a little bit, tell him to give the money back, and they're crying. And let's say you asked, why? Because the why is important, the three-letter word is important. And their desire, and they're the person who's been taking care of them and loved them the most in life is going to die from illness, Yeah, and you don't know if the money will fix it. But there's two sides to the story. One side is that someone stole from you and that's bad and they should pay. The other side is they stole for a reason. They stole, which is bad, because someone else is dying, and dying's bad. So they're willing to sacrifice themselves to save somebody else, which is good. You might see two wrongs don't make it right, but two wrongs for a right is right. It shouldn't be privileged. You shouldn't. I mean, well, yeah, you shouldn't have to do that. This world should be unified and good enough to live in where you don't have to do wrong things to do a right thing. Or the thing that seems right, which is morally right, saving someone. Or helping them get better. But, of course, it's your choice there. Turn the kid in. Get your money back. He goes to prison. Give him the money some more. Infinite possibilities. I'm a believer in infinite choices and decisions and philosophical stuff like that. But no one acknowledges that there's two sides of the story. Is that that your side is the right side and no other is right, because no one can acknowledge or is open-minded enough. Usually, maybe you are. Usually, it's just at that point you were furious or mad, or you were just disappointed. That's the word. You just didn't acknowledge it, which is fair. But in the end, I don't know if they sound like they're real. My mother, maybe. I don't know. In the end, someone's heart just might. How do I say this? Let me think. In the end, it comes down to choices that need to be built upon wide point of views in seeing both sides of every story. And probably more. But I'm just going to relate it back. If this world was unified, unity would have been pre-built the world to be a better place, and some of these wouldn't have to be overthought. I'm not going to hate on you for what you do to that kid who stole money from you. I personally would have loaned him that money, given my phone number, and maybe prayed with him or prayed with them. It might not be he, it might be she. It's totally possible, whoever it can be. I would respect them, and I would wish them the best. And afterhand, if things do get better, I'm going to come back to them. You know what? No, I don't think I would even tell them you owe me. That's the thing, I would just let it be. You did it because you did it for your reason. I'm well off. But in that scenario, the kid might be lying and just leeching from you. Infinite possibilities. But if this world just took some time to be unified and asked why things are happening and tried to make it better, maybe things would just be better already. No one really did. You might. I'm gonna bring this up because it's kind of true. No one. Not no one. Sorry. People did help others in Haiti when they have had terrible earthquakes. the nations did not. I might be wrong. Maybe they did somewhat help, but maybe not as much as the regular people. And that unification, that unity is so good and empowering that it should be brought on a governmental scale. The government and the people, the citizens, should work together to make the world a better place. In this case, the government should have tried to help the Haiti government to be better economically wise. I said that probably wrong. The citizens should have helped the citizens. And eventually the citizens should have helped the government, would start helping the government, and the government would start helping the citizens. It's just that. And we shouldn't have to be, we shouldn't have to ask for stuff in return. And we should always pay people for what they have done to help us. Sometimes they just pay us with thank yous and everlasting love and smiles and joy and happiness. And I think that's good enough for me. I don't know about you, that's good enough for me. Instead, we are unified to an extent. We tend to dislike people who are not us. The best example is white people have caused the most racism in the past, and I'm sorry for what my ancestors have done. And I wish the ones that I don't know about, I didn't do you harm. But please do not hold against me for what they have done, because I am trying to be better than what they were. And what I'm doing now is for my children to do better, to be better than me. Make the world an even better place than what I'm trying to do. Which still probably, then you're asking why, what are you really saying? I'm saying we need unity. Instead of this world being built on hating and not being, it's not this world being, I'm sorry, it's really negative to think about, but it's true that this world is mainly, everyone can't accept others who are different, truthfully. Maybe some people can. I try to. Sometimes it's hard, but I try to. And others say the same. Some others some people will do it to an extent. Some people just don't do it at all, really. That's their personal reason, and I respect that. But I think everyone's a good person. And we shouldn't disown them because they did a bad thing or they're different from us. We should respect and be open to what they're doing. And if it's wrong, like if it's truly wrong, we don't enforce it. We try teaching them why it's wrong and having others teach them and have a big unifying group of like, hey guys, this isn't right. Look at all of us here. And those people are like, you're right. Because my ancestors, my father, his father, and all my fathers before me taught me that unity is empowering, but when built on a wrong idea, on terrible circumstances, it should be abolished. Which I hate that word because it sounds terrible. But they will realize, and they might be better. And will they be persecuted for it a little bit? Will they have to repay for what they have done? Justice might be somewhat served. For me, a sorry is just good enough. It really is. And sometimes a sorry is just good enough for the one who's done you wrong. You're thinking, what do you mean? But sometimes a murderer, someone who has murdered somebody else, the family might never forgive him, but they might live happier if you just said sorry. Of course, we're gonna say as a he and as a white guy because because white people are terrible, and as a male because males are terrible. I'm male, I'm straight, I'm white. I already know that most of the worst people were this: male, straight, and white. Straight, possibly. I don't know what their full sexual orientation was. Some of them were pretty flimsical. Charles Manson. It's pretty disgusting, but sorry. The family might just need to hear a sorry. Sometimes the murderer, the one who murdered, a way they can cope with life is saying sorry too. And being free, and at least maybe they won't be forgiven, but at least they tried. They feel like they tried, and they feel like they tried to do the right thing. This world has a hard time forgiving because we aren't unified to make it better. You might be thinking, well, that doesn't make sense, but if you think about it, if we were unified, we all taught everybody a basic moral code, the world might be better. You might think, you might say instinct proves what you should and should not do. My friend, instincts sometimes do not come in where people grow up. You might not know better. So it's hard. So this world lacks a lot of things, but let's get a basic unity, open-mindedness, and questioning the word, and using the questioning by using the word why. The letter, no word why, yeah. I don't know, that hurt my brain. No one uses the word why on a respectful and open-minded level to help better unify the world. We lack forgiveness and compassion. We are greedy, so we lack ungreediness, generosity. No, that's generosity. Honesty is debatable. We lack truth, laughter. We lack good. We lack the voice of good, and etc. Because I'm gonna say it one more time, but the world will work together. We can solve problems like global warming. If you don't believe that's fair, but do keep in mind that it might not seem real now. In a few years, it could seem devastatingly real. We can solve problems on pollution of all levels, solve overpopulation, poverty, famine, plague. My father had cancer, skin cancer, so plague is big on my mind. We can solve welfare. We can solve wars, hate. We can create love. We can solve respect amongst ourselves, to respect their group and who they are. It's still big enough, like, there's plenty of subgroups in America that don't respect each other, because we're all American. But to tell you the truth, god dang it, we are all human, and we should all be unified together to fight against what we have done, and what will happen to solve, like I said before, massive problems that are bigger than us. We'll never get a space by ourselves unless we work together. We'll never end climate change, pollution, and war by ourselves. Some have, but we shouldn't have to leave it to one person. It's difficult. So, I guess to end this off, it's over 1 hour now in a few seconds. Preferably 1 hour and 10 seconds now. We'll end it with, we're all human. it's a broad statement, or vague or whatever. It's a very true statement. We're all human. You might not believe that, and that's respectable. I respect that. I believe we're all human. All humans are humans, or however I say this, we're all human. And to be even more factual, we all live on Earth. Whether you think it's flat, rounded, square, whatever shape it is, or plane, or whatever it is, we live on it all together. And we need to fight problems to save this world. To me, that's it. So, just people remember, we all live here. So let's create peace, not violence. Ask why. Get curious. And show two very important things: love and open-mindedness. So thank you. My name's Christopher. I'm 15. I live in Texas. I go to high school. I'll be a sophomore at 16 later this year. I might have said white male already, but I'm that again. I'm straight. I have brown eyes, brown hair. But I don't think I'm different from any of you. Also, I live on Earth with a bunch of other good people.